analytics, a way for us to objectively measure how good a player is, essentially through math. While stats and analytics have definitely changed this game, with teams and players shooting more threes, not because of it, what can change is how we perceive these stats and analytics. Statistics have brought in just as many opinions as facts, and speaking of opinions, I got a couple I want to tell you guys about, some unpopular ones.
I'm on my way to an island and I'm popping shit at the pilot. Niggas be broken, be sobbing, but still talking shit like they violent. Niggas is broke.
But before we get into this video, let's go ahead and shout out the sponsors of this video, SeatGeek. SeatGeek is an app that gets all the prices from all over the web and puts them into one app so you can find the best deals. And once you find the event you want to go to, it shows you all the great deals, which are marked with a green dot, the bad ones with red, and before you buy your seat, you can even check what it looks like before you go. Use code BSOLZ for $20 off your first order. So here you go, here are my unpopular opinions. Number 1, John Stockton is not a top 5 point guard. Look, I know I literally made a video about top 10 lists and just lists in general, like top lists in general, and how stupid they really are. But I didn't tell people to stop making them. And honestly, last video I proposed making tier lists instead of top 10 lists. But even with the tier list, I'm not sure if John Stockton is tier 1. Like, as a quote-unquote pure point guard, he definitely is, but in terms of the players to play the point guard position, I'm just not sure. Like, is John Stockton really on the tier of Magic Johnson, Jerry West, Steph Curry, and Isaiah Thomas? These are guys who either changed the game or have accomplishments that far surpass Stockton's. Yes, he was a great passer, to me the second greatest passer of all time. I just don't think his play translated to team success as much as the guys I have above him. And I know what you're saying, what about Jerry West? He lost way more in the finals than Stockton, and his play could have definitely led to more team success. And I get your point, but here's the thing about Jerry West. He was one of the pioneers of the game that really changed the way basketball would be played forever, as he was one of the first real scoring guards in NBA history. And we know now through recent history with Michael Jordan, Steph Curry, you know, Kobe Bryant, these guys, how much that would really change the game to go alongside his crazy stats, his accomplishments, you know, the one ring he has and the one finals MVP he has, which ironically he didn't even get the year he won the championship because he got it in a year he lost. And that was the last time that was given out. Number 2, Steve Nash deserved both his MVPs. Yes, Steve Nash deserved both of his MVPs in 2005 and 2006. Let me explain why. Look, it's not that LeBron or Kobe or whoever you think deserved it didn't deserve it. The problem is people acting like Steve Nash didn't deserve it, when in fact, he definitely did. Which is hard to believe looking at his, you know, mediocre stats, you know, only if you look at points, basically. So in the 2003-2004 season, the Suns were a laughable 29-53, and mind you, the core of this team essentially stayed the same the season after, for the exception of Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni. And in this season, the Suns went from being a 29-win team at the bottom of the league to having the best record in the league, as Nash averaged 16 points and 12 assists on a 50-40-89 season, not 90, 89, and the Suns won 62 games. Like, I don't know about you, man, but if you think Harden deserved the MVP last year because he carried the Rockets from the 8th seed the year before to being a top 3 team in the league, you really shouldn't have a problem with Nash getting MVP in 05. And then in 06, Amari Stoudemire only played 3 games and was out for the whole season. Mind you, this was a guy who averaged a career-high 26 points the season before, and this guy was out for the season, one of the best power forwards in the league. But even with the injury, the Suns still had the 3rd best record in the league. And mind you, they were in the difficult West, and Nash led that team up to scoring, was more efficient from the field, from the 3, and the free throw line. You know, he actually finished with a legitimate 50-40-90 season, upped his rebounding, and was still averaging 11 assists per game. Like, look, just imagine Kyrie Irving, after what happened to Hayward, still leading the Celtics to a 55-56 win season, and being mad he won the MVP. Look, this is how I look at it with Steve Nash. Just because you think player A or player B deserved the MVP over Nash doesn't change the fact that Nash did deserve it. The same way Russell Westbrook deserved his MVP last year, regardless of if you think Harden deserved it more or not. Number 3, players should stay in college. I know this one is really gonna annoy some people, man, but I'm gonna be honest, for certain players, I think they should stay in college instead of going into the draft right away. Now let me repeat, this is not for all college players. These are for certain special ones, specifically those who have a higher chance or a higher potential of being an all-time great than others. And I know this is really hard to evaluate, but all I'm saying is I think these young players shouldn't just consider one and done as the only option. Because if we look at the all-time greats, I think one of the things that make Larry and Magic and Jordan's resume and all these other legends' resumes stand out so much is their ability to make a significant impact right off the bat for their team, and their ability to accomplish all of their accomplishments in such a short amount of time. Look, for example, when we look at MJ's resume, do you know how crazy it looks that he averaged 28 points per game as a rookie and did everything he did in what, 13-14 years, winning 6 rings? Like that's insane. Imagine how different the at the age of 30 and the at the first 8 season charts would look like if MJ came in as an 18-year-old, you know, inefficient, averaging 14 points per game. And I know LeBron was a beast right off the bat, even from high school, which is what makes him so special. But just imagine if he did stay for a year or two and then came into the NBA with the best body in the league, with more leadership experience than he already had, averaged 27, 7, and 7 out the gate, and took his team to the finals his rookie year. Like, that would change the way we look at LeBron so much. So my point is, for a guy like, let's say, Michael Porter Jr. or Marvin Bagley, what is the rush for getting into the NBA really aside from immediate money? Now, I know money is important in this world we live in today, and especially the way the NCAA is bamboozling their players. It definitely hurts to stay in college not getting paid, while you could be playing in the pros getting $6-7 million per year. But for a guy like Michael Porter Jr., even if you stay in college for a year or two, if you are really the talent you've been hyped up to be, more likely than not, you will still be the #1 overall pick coming out of college, even as a 2nd or 3rd year player. Imagine how much hype and how much better Michael Porter's resume would be if we saw him coming to the NBA, averaging 25 points right out of college, dominating the NBA, leading, you know, let's say the Chicago Bulls to the playoffs. Like, that would be insane for a rookie and his resume. Imagine if Karl Anthony Towns stayed in college for another year or two and came into the NBA right away, averaging the numbers he's averaging right now, which is what, 25 and 13, around there? Obviously, this route isn't just for anyone. Really, it only applies to those first overall talent prospects. But I think players and fans are really dismissing and disregarding this option just a little bit too much. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your unpopular NBA opinions are in the comment section down below. I like my favorite ones. Hey, but here's the deal, man. I'm trying to make this sort of a tag video for my fellow NBA YouTubers, so I am challenging my man Legend of Winning.
What's up, YouTube? It's the one and only Legend of Winning, aka Low, and I'm back with the last episode of the NBA preview.
And MDJ to make their own unpopular opinions video. So if they didn't watch this video, to make sure they do it, y'all go ahead and spam up their comment section in their next video or on their Twitter or wherever their social media is and tell them to do the challenge. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.